Hello and welcome back to Will It Work? Today we're going to take a look at connecting a Nintendo Power Glove to the Sony PlayStation 5. Now, a good friend of mine went out of town for the holiday weekend and he was very gracious to lend me his PS5 to make this video. When I went over to pick it up, I'm like, oh wow, it's all black. He has replaced the white paneling with black, so if you're wondering why this isn't white, that's why. Okay, so in the past few weeks, I've made two videos connecting the Power Glove to the Nintendo Switch and the Xbox Series S. I'll put a link in the description down below to a Power Glove playlist I'm making, which will contain all of the devices I inevitably connect to the Power Glove. And you can check out what I've already done at that link below. So as before, we're going to use the Nintendo NES to USB adapter from Retro USB. This is the only commercially available adapter I know of that works with the Power Glove. It will turn Nintendo controllers into generic USB controllers. That's not going to work on the PlayStation 5 or the Switch or the Xbox. So that's where the Titan adapter comes in. This will accept generic controllers as well as Nintendo, Microsoft, and Sony controllers and output them to any of those consoles so that you can play one company's controller on another. You can also store mappings in here as well as sophisticated scripts. So the Nintendo was by far the easiest. I just set the Titan to a Pro controller and it just worked. The Xbox, there was an extra step where you had to plug in an actual Xbox controller and let it authenticate, and then you were good to go for the remainder of the time you had the console turned on. The Sony PlayStation 5 is a lot more difficult. In fact, it re-authenticates with its controller every 8 minutes. The people at Titan have not figured out a good way to get around this, and I believe the Titan 2 might work because it has two USB ports where you can plug in the PlayStation 5 controller in one and then your alternate controller in the other USB port. But I've also heard that's still having problems. So at the moment, I can't recommend getting a Titan to play PlayStation 5 games. The latest firmware was in 2021, so if you're researching the Titan in the future and you see a firmware from 2022 or higher, it may be solved by then. But for the purposes of this video, it's okay because I'll demo a couple of games and I won't go longer than 2 or 3 minutes anyway. So the 8-minute timeout re-authentication is not going to affect us for making this video. Also, I'd like to point out that the NES to USB adapter maps the finger controls of the Power Glove to sliders. These are usually only found on sophisticated joysticks, and the Titan cannot grab those to remap them. So unfortunately, we can't use the finger controls. We can use all the buttons and of course the glove itself for movement in three-dimensional space. So let's go take a look and see if we can get the Power Glove to play some PlayStation 5 games. Okay, so let's play some Returnal. I can go forward, right, left. I can jump, boost, fire. Go around this thing into this gate. So the main problem you're going to find with most of these modern 3D games is that you only have one stick, that of the left, and you really need two sticks in order to aim and to turn. And that's just a problem with these type of games. So let's try something else out with controls that allow us to move a little bit better with one stick. Okay, so this is Astros Playroom. I can jump and use my rockets with this button and punch and interact with the other one. Okay, let's go down the slide. Go into a sandstorm here. Oops. There we go. All right. All right, well, I can't go any further in this game with the Power Glove for this particular level, but for the most part, you can get around and do the major feats that you're trying to accomplish. So not too bad on this one. Okay, so there we are. As with the previous two consoles, I'm going to give this a partial pass, mostly because we are not able to use the fingers as controls, and that's a real bummer. It takes away a lot of the fun of the Power Glove. But we can still move around, we can still use the buttons for actions. So it's definitely something that works. It's just not going to work ideally, obviously. So that's going to do it for this video. If you're enjoying these videos, please like and subscribe. I'll be back soon, but that's all for now. Take care.